Hello and welcome back to Frogboy X1 Gaming. I'm Andrew, and today we're going to talk about why PlayStation is more focused on going after games as a service as opposed to continuing to invest in and create the single-player story-driven narrative games that they are most commonly attributed to. So, if you like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's get into this. Now, as you know, Jim Ryan came out at the beginning of this generation and basically told us that they were going to have a pretty steady flow of games as service games in development, being creative, being looked at. They purchased Bungie. They've purchased other studios that specialize in this type of game format going forward. And nobody really wanted to believe it until we saw the showcase last Thursday. So it's kind of got the internet kind of all over the place right now when it comes to PlayStation. Like, what are they doing? Why are they doing this? Well, we have to take a look back at some of these first party games that have come out just over the last 3 years during this console cycle. Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart didn't do too well. Returnal didn't do too well. God of War Ragnarok, it did well, but it was also bundled with a highly sought after console, as was Horizon Forbidden West. Both of those games were bundled with the PlayStation 5. They had a lot more units out there when God of War was available, so they were able to move a lot more copies of that particular game, albeit at a $50 price point for that particular game. Now, if you really look at the adoption rate of first-party PlayStation games and, the overall console install base, then you start to understand that it's like 6 to 10% of the install base that actually buys and plays these games, and that's not all day one purchases. That's over time as they go down and sell, as they hit that $20 mark. More people are more out to pick those up and play them. And that's just the nature of things. That's kind of how gaming has always been. You can always pretty much rely on a really good AAA game. You can usually rely on like 5 million copies or more going out the door pretty quick with that. So at the same time, PlayStation has, in order to continue to survive for PlayStation, they have to take this live serious thing a lot more seriously. When they look at the numbers, when they pull up the spreadsheet and they see what people are playing on their platform, they are noticing that live service is a majority stake of what people are playing on there. And they're thinking like, wow, how do we get in on this? Because right now, for the most part, like Fortnite, Apex Legends, any of these other games, Destiny 2, that are doing well on their platform, and they're bringing in the post-purchase dollars for cosmetics and other types of items and stuff that you would get post-launch for these types of experience. They're only getting about 30% of that revenue. So if, say, they had something as popular as Fortnite out there bringing in that type of money, then they would be able to fund more of these projects and continue to fund that single player experience that we've known on PlayStation. Now, I don't think the PlayStation community is 100% truly ready for exactly what PlayStation is going to do. PlayStation, to tell you the truth, and this is my honest opinion, I can 100% see PlayStation adopting a full live service model going forward. I could 100% see them doing that, providing a platform out there for everybody to come and do their live service games. That there makes more money for PlayStation than their single player games do. They spend a lot more money to make these single player games, whereas they can just scale back on the quality and pump out. I mean, like, if you've seen games like Fortnite and Modern Warfare 2 or like Warzone, you've seen Apex Legends, you've seen all these games, and they're not like they're not like super fantastic in the visuals or anything like that, and the content that they bring to these experiences. Now, if PlayStation was to do this right, if they were to be able to, create something like The Last of Us World and continue to feed it story content and continue to feed it, a compelling reason to be in there, then yeah, they could potentially be pretty big hits. But we're looking at a substantial lessening of quality compared to what we would normally get with their single player, high budget AAA games. And I don't know. I don't think the PlayStation fan base is truly has. I don't think it's truly hit them. I kind of feel like as a PlayStation fan, we're still in denial because we've seen PlayStation go from making these great games and then looking over at Xbox feeling like, yeah, we don't have any competition anyways. Whatever, we just need to do this. Microsoft is going with a subscription service, so that's ultimately going to destroy the quality of their games, and it's fine. We just need to have something out there so that people are still playing and engaged on the PlayStation platform. But that's kind of a double-edged sword for them, because when it comes to Xbox Game Pass and what Microsoft is doing, the more successful the games are that Microsoft puts out first party, the more the budgets are going to increase and they're going to get better for those particular games as well. So you might actually see a complete transition of what of these two consoles. Xbox has a lot of first party games that are single player experiences that are coming to the platform over the next couple of years. And if PlayStation is going to drop that and 100% chase this live service, sprinkle in a single player game here and there, whereas Microsoft is going to be delivering those experiences hand over foot in the coming years. I don't know. I mean, I still kind of believe you could see a I could see a mass exodus from the PlayStation platform to Xbox. I could potentially see that. But that's if PlayStation is really gonna, forego what they're doing right now. And to me, that's what it looks like. If you look at precedent from how the PlayStation platform has been in the PlayStation 5 generation, that is precedent. They show you what they've got for the next year, and then they slowly dribble it out. It comes out, and they just roll with it. They just roll with it. They don't answer any questions. They don't worry about fan sentiment. They don't care. And that's kind of just the way it's felt with PlayStation 5. Their biggest push is to get as many consoles out there as fast as possible so that they can continue to grow that install base, so that it makes it easier for them to secure third-party deals for exclusivity and marketing rights and other types of things. But Microsoft's fighting back this time. After that showcase, Xbox put out the little thing and said, look, man, 12 of these games are coming to Xbox. They're coming to Xbox. You're going to be able to play them on your Xbox, so don't worry about that. And that's good. I'm glad that Xbox is fighting back, even with putting out stuff like Redfall. Redfall, I mean, you're going to get plenty of stuff on that from PlayStation, it appears, this generation. Like that game that they're putting out, that Fair Games, that doesn't look that doesn't look very intriguing or very, very interesting to me, if you ask me. So I think this is interesting, and I'm curious to see how this plays out, and I'm curious to see how the PlayStation the fanboy crowd reacts to this, because this seems pretty realistic. It seems pretty surreal after seeing that show and not feeling the genuine hype that you would normally have after a PlayStation show. I wonder how long it takes to set in. I wonder how long it takes for them to figure this out and to either minimize it and just go with it and be like, yeah, whatever, we'll do the live service. And then they'll start, defending live service games like, well, we got the best live service games, or they really will stop, sit back and be like, all right, you know what, man, I think that this is the time to open up and entertain both systems. I think that this is the time, if you're going to stay a console fanboy and whatever else, maybe this is the time you have both. Maybe this is the time you finally decide, like, hey, man, I'm going to give Microsoft a fair chance because it looks like PlayStation is not going to deliver what I expect them to deliver, and what I feel that PlayStation is good at. I think that this is the generation to really open up your and to broaden your horizons as a gamer. If you continue to want to play single player games, it's sounding more and more like you're going to need both platforms so that you can have a steady flow of those particular types of games. Because if PlayStation is 50% live service, that means it's 50% less, 50% less than single player games. And if Microsoft is 50% single player games now and 50% whatever else, that will basically fill that gap for you as a gamer for single player experiences. I know that sucks. I know having both consoles is going to be expensive and it does suck, but there is that mitigating factor that you can play everything on Xbox Game Pass with a Game Pass subscription. $15 is the most. So you get in there, one of their single player games comes out, you pay the $15, you play through it. If you finish it, cool, you don't have to worry about it. If you don't finish it and you want to keep playing it and it's something that you love, spend the money and buy the game. And then, wait until another game drops on Game Pass so that you can experience that. But I haven't really had any issues with the money I've spent with Game Pass since the beginning of this gen. Well, since Xbox One X. I've been paying for it since then. I've always found a value in it. My kids play it a lot. I play it every once in a while. I'll check out a game just to kind of see if it's something that I want to own or not. And it saved me a ton of money. It saved me it's already paid for itself over and over and over and over again with all the money I've saved with games that I was interested in and I played for a minute and then I didn't like it. And it's been nice. Like, it has saved me money, actually saved me money by having that subscription. So that's all I've got to say on this matter. I hope that I broke that down good enough to where you can kind of understand that, like, this is potentially the future of what PlayStation has in mind for its PlayStation fan base. And you'll have to decide if that's something that you, as a gamer, want. Is that something? Because I know a lot of us older gamers, we're single player gamers. We like the single player games. There's really no way to 100% get that on just one platform now. You have to have multiple platforms to be able to engage in that amount of content, especially going forward. It's going to be a lot harder, and the funding just really isn't there for these types of experiences anymore. It's just not there. It's not as profitable as it once was. I mean, it used to take them a year, 6 months, 7 months to make one of these games on PlayStation 1, put it out, sell a bunch of copies, gain a fan base of fans, younger fans that love that stuff. And now it's pretty much coming full circle. They cannot sustain that type of investment going forward, especially with the new technologies and stuff. It's going to be interesting to see how this generation runs out. And just like everybody else, man, like, I have pretty frequently this generation had to rein my expectations in. And after seeing Spider-Man 2 the other day at the showcase, yeah, we're gonna have to we're gonna have to accept that. And for the most part, I'm fine with that. As long as graphics stay as good as they were last generation and we get 60 frames per second on top of that, I'm okay with that. I am. Like, I don't know what else we expect. I do want to see some really cool games come out, but I think it's time for us to temper our expectations and really be realistic with what we can expect to get from Xbox and PlayStation, as well as PC and freaking Nintendo. So, all right, my friends, if you like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one.